Earlier this year, I fitted one of the somewhat controversial large-screen Android-based head units to my 2011 TDV8 L322 Range Rover. Now that I've had a good few months living with it, I wanted to answer some of your questions and give you my final thoughts on the features, functions and failings of this unit. So if you haven't seen it already, you can watch the installation video by clicking the link on the screen, but as a quick recap, this is a Chinese-made Android-based 13.3-inch touchscreen with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that is designed to fit all versions of the L322 Range Rover. The installation is fairly straightforward if you're somewhat familiar with taking car interiors to bits, but most people shouldn't have an issue following the instructions or watching my video to get the job done. First of all, the main function of these devices, and the reason that most people will want to buy one, is to provide a seamless integration of your smartphone. Navigate to Supermax.
Getting directions to Supermax Healthcare Europe using Google Maps.
No, not the healthcare place, the burger place. Be it fruit-based,
and we are calling it iPhone,
or Android-based.
Yes.
Now luckily, both denominations are represented in our household. I daily drive an iPhone 14 and my partner uses a fairly run-of-the-mill Poco which runs Android. Happily, both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto have been absolutely faultless on this device. It's extremely fast to boot up, and it's usually connected to my phone and loaded into CarPlay before I've even put my seatbelt on or put the car into drive. CarPlay feels pretty responsive out of the box, but I managed to make it feel even snappier by changing the frame rate from medium to high on this hidden settings menu, something I'd highly recommend doing. As I mentioned before, this head unit is connected into the car's CAN bus system. This means that as well as working with the steering wheel controls out of the box, it can also pull data from the car's systems and display it on the screen. That includes the 4x4 info screen that I shared in the last video, but it also means cool features like automatically synchronizing the Range Rover's built-in clock with the internet time from your phone. That is a really cool feature, and it means you'll never have to manually set the clock ever again. Now, as this is essentially a fully fledged Android-based computer, that means there are a whole world of possibilities when it comes to apps and software. Things like off-road navigation apps using the built-in GPS and cellular data connections, or controlling your smart home system are fairly straightforward to set up. And I even managed to get the Viofo Dashcam app installed, which means that I can connect to the camera using Wi-Fi and view and save clips directly to the head unit. That's pretty cool. Another interesting idea would be to use an ELM327 based Bluetooth OBD2 diagnostic tool in combination with an app like Talk Pro for fault code reading and live data viewing right on the display. This could be really useful if you wanted to monitor temperatures and pressures while towing, for example. Right, as good as this screen is, it's quite likely the your Land Rover probably needs fixing before you start buying upgrades. And that's why Autodoc's Black Friday sale is absolutely worth jumping on. Autodoc are Europe's leading online car parts retailer. 27 countries, over 5.8 million parts, and pretty much every brand you can think of. And this week, from the 26th to the 30th of November, they've got up to 45% off across the site. On top of that, you lot get an extra exclusive 7% off with my code, SAMBF. Let me show you how simple the app is. So you just open up the Autodoc app, pick your car, I've got the Range Rover saved, search for whatever part you want, scroll through the absolute multitude of different brands that are on offer and add whatever you need to the basket. Then pop through to the checkout, pop in the coupon and you'll see that extra 7% taken off right away. I've used Autodoc for ages now because the prices are solid, delivery is reliable and the app search actually matches the parts to your car, which is handy when you own multiple questionable British vehicles. So if you need anything, filters, bushes, suspension bits, service kits, now's the time. Download the Autodoc app using the link below, use code SAMBF and grab the Black Friday savings while they're live. Again, the sale runs from the 26th to the 30th of November only, so don't miss it. So let's run through some of the stuff I've been asked about this head unit, as I've had loads of questions from you guys. So the reverse camera is now fully working with an aftermarket camera that came with the head unit, and this has a much higher resolution than the original Land Rover camera, so it looks great on the high resolution 13.3-inch display. With the active overlay showing where your steering's going, it makes parking the big beast a breeze. Now from the front, the screen looks as though it's blocking the dash top HVAC vents. However, these vents are actually pointing nearly straight up from the dash, as they're designed to fill the upper part of the cabin and keep the temperature more even from top to bottom, so the screen doesn't affect this at all. A lot of people were also asking about the screen brightness when driving at night. Thankfully, its CAN bus connection means that it automatically dims whenever the headlights come on. However, even in its dimmed mode, it's still fairly bright, so I've taken to turning the screen off when doing long nighttime motorway cruises. The audio and everything still comes through the speakers, but it just makes it a lot less distracting. The audio quality's been great, and with some fine tuning of the built-in 15-channel equalizer, I'm more than happy with how it sounds. I'm still planning that all-out DSP-based audio system build down the line though. I found it was best to turn down the audio conditioning setting a bit, which reduces the maximum volume but it gives you more granularity in the control. Voice assistants via CarPlay or Android Auto work great with the included external microphone. Hey Siri, navigate to McDonald's.
One option I've found is McDonald's on Headford Road in...
That'll do. And the phone calls that I've had have been really clear and stable.
Picard.
Good morning. How are you?
Who is this?
Since fitting this unit, I've had multiple passengers ask if it was factory fitted, as the integration is really quite smart. Obviously you die-hard Land Rover fans would know straight away that this is an add-on, but to your average person this just looks like a very slick factory setup. So anyway, hopefully that helps you with some of your questions. I know I had a lot before I got my hands on this thing. Personally, I'm super impressed with it and I don't have any qualms about recommending this to you if you want to upgrade your L322's infotainment and bring it into the 21st century. Oh, and by the way, of a quick channel update. Those of you following my Instagram may have seen that the L322 felt a bit tired on a recent trip and needed a lift home. Unfortunately, my 4-year-old alternator seems to have died prematurely, so she's out of action at the moment. Now because of this, I've done the only logical thing for a Land Rover addict and bought another Land Rover. Possibly two. Yes, yeah, I have done that. I'm also extremely relieved and excited and terrified to say that we've finally completed on the purchase of our new house, which has been probably the most stressful, drawn out and ruinously expensive thing that we've ever done. But it is done. And we're moving in a matter of days. And I'm going to have an absolutely enormous garage and workshop with which to do awesome projects and make awesome content for you all. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you very soon from the all new Sam's Motor Machine HQ. Cheers!